begins with a signal, a spark. One idea reaches another and everything starts to move. This is how breakthroughs are born, not in isolation, but in connection. AI is revealing what we couldn't see before, tracking disease across continents, guiding robotic surgeons, charting flight paths to Mars while optimizing life here on Earth. But none of it works without the invisible threads beneath it. Networks carrying every insight, every decision, every heartbeat of progress. Your networks empower these connections. Thousands of providers, billions of endpoints. One real-time ecosystem accelerating what's next. With the right tools, connections become catalysts. The invisible becomes visible. But what took weeks happens in moments. This is what happens when the world connects in real time. It's in these small moments, when decisions are made faster, smarter, with confidence, that something bigger begins to move. Because when everything connects in real time, progress doesn't wait. It accelerates.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Connectbase CEO and founder, Ben Edmond.
Good morning. I'm excited. Welcome to the Connected World Live, Chicago, 10 years into creating this company, Connectbase. And I'm truly honored to be here with you today. Looking around the room, looks a little bit different than 27 people that joined me in Boston a long time ago to start this event. So thank you, each and every one of you, for taking the time to come and participate in making this incredible ecosystem even better. This wouldn't be possible without our sponsors. Thank you for each of you for stepping up, making this an event that is absolutely first class and really built for this ecosystem. And I want to thank each and every one of my team members, incredible people that work hard to put this together, not just in a day, but work relentlessly all year. And especially a big shout out to Melissa and Marianne. They work very hard to make sure that you guys have an incredible experience, and that is something we will continue to lean into each and every year here at Connectbase. Let's start. Let's dive in. Connectivity is the unseen fabric of our digital world. We all know it. We all live it. It carries, the conversation of the day of AI. It carries the cloud. It carries content. It carries commerce. Every click, every stream. It is a reality that our society depends on connectivity. I call it the operating system of the digital economy. And I call it the operating system of digital economy because it is how this world lives, learns, works, and plays in today's society. That operating system has to continue to evolve, though. We have to change, and this conference over the next couple of days is really about that change, about the forward-looking future that we're all a part of and collaborating to build together. Not just Connectbase, not just the suppliers, not just the partners, not just the buyers, but together as a fabric. And we need to do it in real time. We need to step up and enable that real-time reality that the experiences are looking for and depend on. Because of a digital-first world, the difference between opportunity and irrelevance is becoming microseconds, nanoseconds, milliseconds. That transition from this is an opportunity to a missed participation is now clearer than ever. And it is up to us to work together to make sure that we're putting our best foot forward as a collective ecosystem. But here's the reality. The economy that depends on real time still transacts like it's the travel agents of the 1970s. When you think about what we're doing and having swivel chairs between systems, having fallout in the neighborhood of 20%, 1 in 5 orders requires rework or fallout completely with a different solution in the market today. That is an incredible stat. Imagine if AWS had 20% of their orders fall out. Imagine if Expedia didn't process 20% of their transactions. It's just unheard of and an unacceptable reality for scale, speed, and the experiences that we want. How many people in this audience today have ever rekeyed an order because of a missed address? A few hands. You can all raise them because it's all reality. How many people have, wanted to solve the realities of that swivel chair pain, that don't want to go from internal system to internal system to internal system to external partner to external partner to external partner, but have one experience that's built for them, their way? Does that resonate? Because it resonates with the rest of the digital economy, and we as an ecosystem need to accept that reality and embrace it for our good, for the value that it creates for the digital threads that navigate. When I started Connectbase 10 years ago, and Monday was my 10-year anniversary of quitting my job and starting this company. I wanted to build something that was about you, about this ecosystem, not about, how I could build a better mousetrap, but how do we collaborate to buy, sell, and partner better? And one of the foundations of that ecosystem operating system that I talk about is navigating a connected state. We talk a lot at Connectbase about being connected. Trey launched the link-based offering that allows a click of a button for you guys to connect back and forth earlier this year. But that connection is at the heart of how we work. It's not just about the systems. It's about the data, the structure, the people, the relationships, and automating reality instead of automating generic. And that federated architecture of connections is something we've leaned into over this last decade and continue to scale and grow. When we want to think about being connected and enabling this operating system, we talk about intelligence. It's one thing to automate, it's another thing to transform digitally. And you can't transform digitally without the right data, the structure, and the intelligence guiding systems, guiding people to make the possible happen. We want to weave that into every step of both today and tomorrow. There's a lot of conversation on AI out there. We continue to lean into how our stack gets transformed for you with the power of AI in the future, and you're going to hear more about that going forward. And purpose, starting a company that's focused on one ecosystem. A lot of friends in the room that know me for the last 28 years of living, breathing in this industry know that we have purpose. We don't serve every retailer on the corner of South and North Streets. We serve this telecommunications connectivity industry across 3 layers: digital infrastructure, network services, and managed services with purpose. How we build, how we scale, how we think about creating value for you every day. When we start to think about what the operating system of connectivity at Connectbase looks like for you, we think about 3 pillars that I'm going to go through. Pillar number one, and if no one's ever heard my 17 times rule, repeating the same thing 17 times in order to get my point across, this is one that you've probably heard 17,000 times by now over the last 10 years, but it's location truth. It matters. We've had billing telephone numbers, circuit IDs, pillars of the underlying BSS and OSS systems out there that power our businesses for decades. And location has been treated as the red-headed stepchild of data construct for a long time. That is changing. We have people across this industry, and collectively there's over $1 trillion in revenue in this room right now. We have people championing the concept of location truth because of the power it brings to everything else, from partnerships to quoting to ordering to billing to repair services, truck rolls. If you get location right, good things happen. Better transactions in real time happen seamlessly. We invented an ID system we call GLID, the Global Location ID. This becomes one building, one ID, one truth, not just in Connectbase, but the ability to extend that across your entire fabric of systems and processes to reconcile transactions, to understand and make decisions. Because at the end of the day, while AI is absolutely amazing and I'm completely bought in, people are what make the difference. People need the right insights to guide the systems and make decisions. And when you're empowered with GLID and location truth, great people make better decisions. When you think about the second pillar of a real-time operating system for transacting in the connected world, we need a common language. And that common language that we focus on is both location truth and a concept we call the ecosystem product catalog. You're going to hear more about this, but think of Spotify. Imagine Spotify, which, hopefully a few of you know who Spotify is. You're streaming Spotify, and they didn't categorize any music genre. You didn't know if a song was country, you didn't know if a song was rock, you didn't know if a song was rap. You just had to randomly put in your input and guess. It wouldn't be very efficient. Spotify has made a difference by cataloging the world's music and structuring. We're doing the same thing at Connectbase. There's ultimately 16 core categories in the connected world, from that managed services layer down through digital infrastructure. And you absolutely want your own brand, your own product packaging, your positioning, but you want to be found. You want to have your buyers and your partners navigate through the complexity of tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of SKUs and packages for some of you, and be able to pick the right package for the situation. And an ecosystem product catalog allows for that unique positioning of the brand and purpose to make it your own while being found. And that being found matters in a busy world, in a world that is real time, looking for the best solution at the best point in time. Now let's look at one of our example buyers. We had a buyer come to us that was largely manual before Connectbase in the quoting process. And this is an example of the power of location truth and the power of a connected fabric and the power of an ecosystem product catalog. They were swivel chairing into 5 core vendors' supplier portals to look up solutions that they wanted to buy. They were emailing out other suppliers, getting disparate information that they piecemealed back into the same format into a common spreadsheet that combined the portal information with the email information, a process that took them typically days or weeks across 3 continents that they served mid-market customers primarily. That is a story not of one, that is a story of many in this industry. And in a world that is expecting answers, that is expecting solutions faster and better, that costs them opportunities. It's not just about how well you buy from a margin standpoint or a term standpoint. It's that solutioning in the time and the moment with intent that creates the opportunity to transact. And what we found, this managed service provider customer consolidated into Connectbase, the ability to reach directly into their partners, to get their transactions back in real time, ones that were historically email and the ones that were swivel chair portals, all in a single structure. And the responses went from days and weeks to minutes. And that armed their sellers, primarily channel partners they were selling through, with solutions packaged together up and down their stack that turned into higher win rates. And higher win rates equals growth. That is the core essence of what we're trying to do with the platform at Connectbase. We're trying to help drive growth for this industry and this ecosystem and capture more of the value, in the equation. When we think about the third pillar, going along into how do we get to this real-time ecosystem-led growth strategy that is the operating system that you can build portals over, experiences over, digitize your ecosystems from suppliers, from partners, from buyers across the board. This federated ecosystem fabric is a core part of our foundation. API first thought process, but a fabric is different than building one API at a time. A fabric enables scale. A fabric enables trust. A fabric enables the removal of friction, which is something that we're passionately going to continue to lean into. And when we say federated, that is exactly what we did. From day one, we've built this with the thought process that each individual relationship across the fabric needs its own ability to live as a standalone flow. This allows for special pricing, special terms, different thought processes that, while some people think only can be negotiated with flat files and outside swivel chairs, today the reality is you can enable them right inside of a real-time automated fabric. And 4.5 million quotes a month live across that fabric today and scales faster than any other ecosystem on the planet. That federated architecture is something I've learned from being in this industry since the mid-90s with MCI as a start. Trust matters. How we build trust between the relationships in the room and the systems that support the people doing the work every single day. We want to make sure that trust is enabled through the flow. That trust is about protecting data. That trust is about flowing the right information at the right time with the right amount of attributes to make a decision. So when we think about these three pillars, these are the equations of growth in the next stages of this ecosystem and Connectbase. We will continue to lean into those core premises and innovate around the concept of transacting in the connected world and enabling those transactions from a partner perspective, from a buyer perspective, and from a supplier perspective with trust. This isn't about incremental improvement. This is about raising the bar. And when we remove friction from the processes of enabling transaction, buyers win faster, sellers monetize faster and bigger, partners connect ecosystems to ecosystems. This is real-time ecosystem-led growth, and the numbers prove it out. Not just from Ben Edmond at Connectbase, but we have people like McKinsey and Accenture leading research that shows that 70% of all enterprise transactions in the IT space, a $5.1 trillion market, will be driven from ecosystem value creation. And when you think about the ecosystems of the future, they are connected, they are trusted, and they are enabled with your particular positioning in real time. When we think about where work is going, where this evolution of the connectivity space, I can look around and like myself, there's a lot of people that have been doing this for a long time in this ecosystem. Now, it's a big ecosystem with lots of players and lots of great companies doing exciting things. But the reality is, we're aging out from an industry perspective, and we need to bring in the next generation into the mix. And when we bring in the next generation, they're digital first. They've grown up with an iPhone in their hand. Their expectations, whether they're buying, selling, or partnering, are different than somebody that grew up on a farm in the middle of nowhere that went outside to play, to entertain himself, not have a phone in my hand. And we need to evolve to that thought process. The cloud industry has evolved to that thought process. The content industry has evolved to thought process. The connectivity industry that we live and breathe as a part of this ecosystem needs to evolve in that thought process. And in order to get there, and in order to have real-time ecosystem trust, driving transactions in an experience that is personalized and meant to drive trust, you need accurate data. You need completeness in the thought process. You need a common language. You need location truth. You need ecosystem product catalog to be found. And you need to think about that connected digital ecosystem. So let me close with this. Connectivity, something we should take a lot of pride in this room, is the unseen fabric of the digital economy. We all know that if connectivity wasn't here, wireless, satellite, fiber, copper, coax, doesn't matter. It is what delivers AI. It is what delivers cloud. It is what delivers content today. And without that, the digital economy would not exist. You'd have this wonderful little box that's a great brain that is not powering, our society today. We power that society today. So our rallying cry, as you engage with your peers, because this conference is not about speed dating and meeting people every 30 minutes. This is about collaborating with friends that are trying to accomplish great things. We want to eradicate friction. We want to replace the swivel chair. I tried to get no swivel chair shirts printed. Trey wasn't able to pull it off, but we want to eradicate swivel chair and make seamless workflows. We want to empower buying, selling, and partnering that makes hyperscalers jealous. We want to elevate the amount of data and clarity to make those transactions. This is our moonshot. This is what our rallying cry over the next couple of days is. And we need to hold ourselves to account to demand frictionless, to demand and expect real-time insights, real-time transactions, real-time workflow, and raise the bar together. I want to thank you personally for being here, being present, and participating in what I believe is foundational for this ecosystem to drive growth, to create value, and to collaborate together, because there is not a single company in here that can do it on their own. It is not about you can control all the pieces 100% of the time. You need buyers, you need partners, you need suppliers. You need this ecosystem to come together and elevate the ability to deliver. And that is what we are going to do. And we're going to be here as your partner doing it every single day. I appreciate the time this morning and look forward to collaborating throughout the next couple of days.